Welcome everyone. Thanks for joining us today for our webinar on IntelliClick email marketing for GoldMine CRM. As valued GoldMine users, you already understand the power of CRM, customer relationship management. And in this event, we're excited to show you how IntelliClick, which you may not be aware of, a very popular add-on to GoldMine, can enhance your email marketing efforts there. And really, the powerful thing is really seamlessly integrating with your existing GoldMine setup. So hello, my name is Tim Wilmot of Wizard Systems GoldMine Suppliers. I'm joined today by my colleague Steve Pearl, the creators of IntelliClick. And in this session, it's aimed really at existing GoldMine users. So we're assuming that you are an existing GoldMine user, but you may not be doing any email marketing right now, or you may be doing email marketing outside of GoldMine. So this is all about leveraging your GoldMine contact data for targeted email campaigns and getting that data, getting those responses directly into GoldMine to be able to use that more efficiently and gain deeper insights into your email activity. So I'm now going to pass over to my colleague Steve, and he'll take us through the rest of the presentation, give you a little bit of intro into IntelliClick and then a live demo, and I will come back to you in our question section. So over to you, Steve.
So basically what we were going to do today is give you a very, very brief overview of IntelliClick, how it's kind of came to be, what are some of its really major features, highlights that we feel make it a little bit different than most solutions in the market. We'll talk about some of those differences where you really can benefit beyond typically the tracking of just an open or a click. And then we'll review a little product demonstration, show you some examples of the actual features themselves, show you the type of results, how they show up in GoldMine, and the type of reporting and the ability to really engage your staff in following up on opportunities that are identified through this email marketing platform. We also are going to be providing a special offer today. So there is, for those attending, some opportunity to get a very deep discount on the purchase of IntelliClick. And we'll finish up with any questions that you might have, both between myself and Tim. Hopefully we can answer and address any important things you want to know that may have not yet been covered in the presentation itself. So I'm going to start first with just a quick background. We basically brought IntelliClick into the marketplace back in 2007, and we were really the first at that time and only email marketing system integrated tightly to a CRM system. GoldMine happened to be one of the CRM systems we'd worked very closely with, and so we did develop that integration to be very tight and give a lot of synergy between the marketing team and the sales team because of the type of information and the flow of how it presents in the CRM system, as you'll see in our demo later. Basically, our focus with the tool was to always try and really help sales identify opportunities quickly and be able to react and respond. We found that most systems, even today, do a very good job of tracking a lot of information and giving you all kinds of analytics. But by the time you spend the time reviewing those analytics and deciding what to do, those opportunities may have already passed by. And so what we felt is, although analytics are good and important to have, it's also important that you engage the sales team as quickly as possible if opportunities are identified. And IntelliClick has been deployed across the world. We have it being used in basically all English-speaking countries because our software is only in English. So that's good news because I think we're in the right place with the folks we're talking to today. So let me talk about some of the really key differences. What does IntelliClick bring to the table that's a little bit different than what either you may already be using or what is in the market today? The first and most important thing is that we deliver real-time information back into the CRM. So as people are engaging with your campaign and they're opening, clicking, browsing pages in your website, that information is flowing back to your CRM system instantly. It's virtually real time. and it tracks it not only to the campaign and to the places they're going, but to the specific person that is taking, excuse me, I apologize, the specific people that are taking action. So you'll see as I speak about some of the things we do, such as the website page views. This is, in effect, kind of gives you a little bit of what Google Analytics gives you, except it's person specific. We're actually giving you the details behind the individuals, what pages they're viewing, when have they come back to your website, and the frequency and amount of time they've spent to really help you prioritize, of all the results you're seeing, who are some of the most interested candidates and potential opportunities. So the going beyond the click for us is taking information that is generated through their browsing behavior on your website and giving you a really deeper level dive on what they're interested. Because I mentioned that we wanted to also make this very engaging to your sales team, we incorporated some various one-click actions that immediately can engage put an engagement between your sales team and the person who's responding to your campaign. And these one-click actions are in the form of either requesting some type of an action and actually scheduling that action into the CRM so that it can immediately show to the person who's assigned to the account that there's an interest to take action right away. We also give them people the ability to sign up for one of your events without necessarily having to use a registration page. So we do have a one-click registration option, as well as the ability to deliver literature and have that not just be a download from a website, but actually delivered by email, coming from an assigned salesperson and delivering an attachment with it so that you start the conversation with the end user directly engaged with the person assigned to the account. Alerts, email and text messaging, important parts of the capability of IntelliClick, because this allows a click to instantly put information into the hands of your salesperson no matter where they are. They don't have to be in the CRM. They can receive this on their mobile device. They can receive it where they see their emails and have everything they need right there to take action, even without being in the CRM system itself. Now, an important part, obviously, of email marketing is delivery. And I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, so are we able to do anything effective to get better delivery for you? Well, one of the first things we've done in the last several years is we've partnered with an email delivery platform called Mailgun, very large worldwide provider who do a very good job of making sure that the senders that go through their platform have done the right things on their website to ensure good deliverability. The two most important things for deliverability is to have SPF and DKIM records on your domain to really validate that what you're sending is authentic and is allowed to be delivered through the Mailgun platform. So, but there are other little tools inside of our product to help you also verify your messages and how well they will do against spam filters and things. So we do try to do a lot to make sure that you're as deliverable as possible. It is a moving target because the rules and what is going on in the marketplace change day to day, but we do try to keep up with that and make sure our system helps you in the best possible way. From a data integrity standpoint, very important, clearly, and especially in the world of regulations like GDPR and other regulations going on in many parts of the world, we know it's important that the integrity of your data, especially with the ability to be sure that people are allowing you to mail to them, is properly noted. And so we do several things to automate the ability for people to both opt in, but more importantly, to opt out. And so we do have a one-click capability for unsubscribing that immediately notates that back in the CRM and makes sure that email address is no longer being used on future campaigns. And then finally, as I mentioned, obviously analysis and the ability to get a good snapshot and picture of the results you've had is all part and parcel of all the reporting and dashboards that we offer you right inside your CRM. So these are information you can get at right away. It's stored in your database, so it's always available to you. And that's an important thing, is that we are storing that information permanently in your CRM. This isn't something where it's sitting up on a cloud system that, should you no longer be subscribed to, the information may not necessarily be available to you any longer. This information is permanently yours in your CRM, no matter what happens down the road. Just briefly, just to explain that our one-click actions, the whole idea here is that the link that you generate is all done through a little mechanism, or our IntelliClick wizard, which I'll show you in our demo. And it's nice because it does give you the ability to designate what type of notification happens both on the side of your recipient and internally, so that you're making sure the right people are being connected to take proper action and follow up. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to move over to show you a little demonstration of IntelliClick. How does it behave inside the GoldMine environment? And we can look at a couple of examples of some clicks. So I'm going to move over to my GoldMine screen. Tim, I just want to be sure, is everything showing still correctly?
Yeah, 100% perfect, Steve.
Okay, excellent. So first of all, I do want to mention that our compatibility is with virtually all editions of GoldMine Premium Edition. So all versions of Premium Edition, going back probably 10+ years, are all compatible, and we're always up to date to the latest releases of GoldMine. I'm showing you just a little example of the way we've set up our GoldMine screen with some information, but most importantly, you'll see there's a couple of tabs that we've added that we often will recommend. One that we put as part of the deployment, which is what we call the Click Track tab. And this is where all the detailed information flows as people respond to your campaign. So each campaign has an entry with the date, time, and I apologize, you're seeing all of these date, time stamps in North American format, but when it is used in your environment, it would display in the UK format. It's telling you the nature of the response, the person who responded, depending on which contact in your database or in that contact account responded, and which campaign they responded to, the nature of what they did. And we also make sure that you have the ability to score that information. So our scoring module does allow you to weight. The importer all have scores that allow you to determine an overall lead score. So we do make sure that this scoring will tabulate and give you a lead score. The benefit of all these numbers in your system is that you can then filter and tie other procedures or processes to these to follow up. So you can identify who are my best opportunities. It could be based on score, it could be based on a lot of different variables, and then actually either have GoldMine take action through automated processes, or just simply do a filter or a report and ask your salespeople to take action based on the best opportunities that have been determined through all these campaigns. If you like, our product does also allow you to update data back to your database. So you could create, and this is just an example, various fields that could then be flagged from a click and then be used for subsequent filtering and future marketing effort. You'll notice that we have some fields that we call our click alert settings. So one of the nice things about our alerts is they can be either static or dynamic. And that's very important, because if you want to make sure the right salespeople are engaged, by having the appropriate account manager information in the record, we can make sure that the alert goes to them based on their cell or email information. So this is just a good way, or to schedule. You'll notice we have the username, and we can schedule actions. And I'm going to show an example of that as part of this demo today. So this shows you some examples. There are other elements within our product capable, such as the ability to subscribe and be on different lists to opt in or opt out. And this will continually keep up to date and set an area in GoldMine called the mail merge codes, so that the email merge codes will be updated with these values that will then allow you to isolate mailings for your newsletters or for promotions or other things that you want specific people to get based on their interest. We've also had people say, are we able to survey? And we do have the ability to also survey capability and have different surveys give you responses to these questions and have that information readily available through dashboards and through reporting. So survey is also part of the equation in our capability. So let's just look briefly at how easy it is to use IntelliClick and to create some of this behavior. It all starts by just launching the IntelliClick wizard. And so the IntelliClick wizard is sort of a little dashboard area to create and set up your campaigns. For some of you who want help with actually designing your email campaigns, one of the things we bundle in is a product called Mail Styler. Very nice drag and drop, simple to use tool to quickly generate a very well optimized, mobile optimized template, and that's all very easy to do all the various work. If you've worked with other editors, we find this to be one of the very best and easiest to use. It does have the ability to have a full library of imagery that you might want to set up for yourself and drag and drop in. Very nice little editor. So this is something we will bundle in for you to use if you have need for HTML preparation. In terms of the actual campaign itself, our tool makes it very easy to simply give a name to your campaign so that you can then move over, browse to the particular template that you're going to code. This will display a preview so that you're sure you're working with the right tool, excuse me, the right message. And then you can just quickly set the header, footer, potentially preferences if you want to use the subscription module, so that all of this will be generated as a fully tracked message ready to go out the door. It's just a couple of mouse clicks to get it ready, and then you can just simply use our sender to actually get this out the door to your audience. The audience, by the way, is always being sent against your database, so it's always up to date as to who you're marketing to. You simply use your filters and group area to build the target list of the people you're receiving those mailings or sending those mailings to. And that way you're not worrying about exporting and putting data up into other platforms. It's all real-time data that lives right in your database at the time you're doing your campaign. We like to say that you're basically starting and finishing all within your environment without having to push anything up to any type of a cloud environment. That also adds a measure of security to your information because it's never really being stored elsewhere other than inside your own environment itself. So I know I've given you a lot of hypotheticals about all these things, but why don't we actually see this in action? So I've got a couple of different examples of some messages that have links to them that take certain types of behavior. And I do want to say we support both templates that are saved and used inside of GoldMine, as well as messages created as HTML files. So I'm going to be showing you two different types of examples. These messages are actually messages that were generated right here in the Document Management Center. Here's an example of heading your way, when can we meet? So this example is something that maybe a salesperson is going to go to a certain territory, a certain area, and he wants to touch base with all the people in advance to see if any of them would like to set some time to meet up while he's in that area. And so I'm going to show an example of how this template could be merged to an audience within a certain territory. So here is that message right here. It's been merged, and it, of course, carries some personalization in the message. And so here's an example where this person, if they would like to call to schedule a time, can, on a single click to do so. It puts them on a page, and we do make sure all these pages we provide you are branded with your logo. So this would not be a generic page. It would actually be logo specific and brand specific to your organization. The person here has the ability to say what's the best number to reach them at. I'm again going to use North American format just to put in a phone number. I'm more acquainted with that formatting. And they might say the best time of day to reach them. What the advantage of doing something like this is, even though you may have phone numbers in your database, you may not necessarily have the one they want to be reached on. You may have their corporate number, but not their mobile number, things like that. So this is an example where they go ahead, and this then gives them a little confirmation that this is now in place, and that a person will be reaching out to them, and sort of confirms that. And so what's happening on the backside here is that message that generated, let's go over here to the inbox, a little callback request alert. And here it is right here. So you could see that just came in just now, and it summarizes to the salesperson exactly what to do. So it's going back to the salesperson responsible for the account, summarizes who's asking for this, their phone number, not only the phone number that's in GoldMine, but also the phone number that they say was the best one to reach them, and what time of day was the best time to reach them at. Just one example of an immediate engagement between a click and a response that could be taken now by the salesperson. Another similar example to that, as I was mentioning to you, we also have the ability to schedule things into the system. So let me go over here into the inbox and look at an HTML message. So this was one that was generated and emailed, created through a mail styler in a very nice HTML format. So you can see it here. Actually, I'll go ahead and open it up so you can see it clearly. And so this is set up to track, various behaviors, whether they click to go to the website, or I'm going to give another example where a phone call could be requested here right away. And this would actually be one to schedule a call into the system. So I'm going to go ahead and click. We make sure that it wasn't something that was done by a robot or done accidentally. So we take them to a landing page. They just say, please proceed, to confirm. They have to click on the proceed. And that, again, confirms to them what has now just been requested. So with one or two clicks, they've now put through a request that within seconds will end up showing up inside the CRM system and immediately advising the person responsible for that account to make the phone call. It's on their call list. Here is my request for callback. It just came up, it just hit, and is now available for me to take action. I can, view the contact. It goes right. I can go and see the contact record. It's sitting on the pending tab awaiting me to take action. So even if the salesperson does not have time or receives the email alert, because I made this particular one also send an email alert. So let me just see if that alert already has come in. Here it is here. So this is not only scheduling, but alerting as well. So here is the alert that came in. So if the salesperson was not in the office to see that little action pop up, they still got the information in their inbox and are able to take action while they're away from the office. So you can see that all this behavior is immediately engaging your staff. It continues to do all the necessary tracking so that when we go back later to look at the reporting on all of this, it is all there. Here are the various actions that were taken. I'm sorry, let me get down here to 625. Request for callback, and all the various behaviors that have been already tracked today. Messages opened. All this behavior is now available to be reviewed in all the analytics, but more importantly, your staff has already been engaged and can take action long before you even look at any of these reports. Now, I did mention that we do allow you to market to your primary and additional contacts, so everything is contact specific. But you can distinguish all their information as you sort through that information in the ClickTrack tab and through our reports. And so what I'll do is, Tim, is there anything you wanted to highlight, by the way, along the way here before I jump to the reporting capabilities of this?
No, I think we're starting to see that, IntelliClick is a really powerful, well-rounded email marketing solution, and it's got advanced features that you don't often find in other solutions, like those forms and the website tracking. And the key thing is, the key message is that everything is tracked in GoldMine. This was written for GoldMine. It understands GoldMine. It even understands quirky things like additional contacts. So all that data is in GoldMine, and ready to be used for future campaigns and reporting that you're going to be going on to now. I think another powerful thing that you don't often find in other email marketing platforms is the ability to send out really small volumes, or just one email from your CRM system, and have that tracked. As Steve, gave the example, heading your way. There could be.
I could send it to one. Correct.
Yeah, that's right. So there could be an example of you take a new inquiry and you just want to send out an email to that new inquirer, that new prospect, and you want to make sure that they get it, that they open it, or maybe they go to another landing page, or maybe you're following up a quotation or an email attaching the quotation. You may want to make sure that is opened and that they go to a landing page. So really tight integration to GoldMine. So back to you, Steve.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Tim. That is a good point. And I said that it's very important that we give you the flexibility to do one-off messaging of all kinds, whether it's a one-off email to survey somebody with something, or a one-off to announce the fact that you're coming to their area. So you do not have to do things in mass. We have the mass side of things, which allows you to push out in a very efficient and effective way. And I'm glad you mentioned it, because I will show the IntelliSend tool that does all the effective sending. It's not GoldMine doing the sending, but a separate tool. But you can do the one-offs, and that does allow you to be very targeted as to specific people you want to engage with. The sending, though, piece of our product, once you have something ready to go, is using this so that we overcome any limitations on any large volumes of message sending. GoldMine doesn't always necessarily handle large volumes effectively, so we built a mechanism to make sure that's well handled. And once you connect to your database and identify the group you want to send to, we're loading only those who are allowed to receive those mailings. I mentioned to you that as people may unsubscribe, or we identify hard bounces and invalid emails, because the Mailgun system flags that and makes sure that we keep that all up to date inside of GoldMine, so that you're never sending or resending back to non-valid emails in the future. Those are important things to, again, avoid being flagged as any type of a spammer, by making sure your lists are clean and delivered to those who are allowing the mailings to come to them. But this sender really handles all of that automatically. As the data is being put into the system, we're reviewing it and only displaying and making available the ones that you should send to. I will mention also something we're very proud of. It's something called our multi-batch. So if you're a company that has many territories and wants to be able to simultaneously send messaging across all those territories coming from the different salespeople, so you can have your various territories with different send froms, same or different messaging, and simultaneously that batch can be sent by just simply choosing the part you want to actually send today, and you're now able to execute across all those territories at one time a send that's personal and coming from the appropriate sender. So again, another way to make it more deliverable. It's somebody that they know that they're receiving a message from. So the batch sender is a very nice way to do that. And to my knowledge, we're one of the only platforms that actually gives you that simultaneous batch sending capability. I mentioned the file, which is going to be the most common way you might do something. Very simple. You simply just browse out to the file that has been coded. So when we code a message, we make sure we underscore IC to distinguish that that's your coded version of your message. You simply then add your subject line, pick your campaign from the list of campaigns that is being monitored and kept for you. And then you can identify whether you want it to go to everybody, primary, additional, and other, but you can also limit to email merge codes. So again, we can make your, it can be very granular as to who your audience is that's going to receive this type of messaging. And then you can, of course, do a couple more things. Before you actually do the send, you can preview to be sure that the message is good to go, all ready to go. But very importantly, right here, you can send a test message to your colleagues or to anyone that needs to evaluate it. And this allows them to actually get a message exactly as it's going to be presented to that end user. And you can do a content analysis, which this is a way to help you assess, is there anything in the message that might cause a problem to get through spam filters? So the content analysis area allows us to use something called Spam Assassin. It's a platform that we can use to evaluate the messaging and immediately return back to you in about 60 seconds a summary, a report of how good or bad your deliverability might be expected on that message and what areas might need to be adjusted, whether there's any type of spam related words or anything in there that might cause issues with spam filters. So that's all part and parcel of this little preview mechanism. And then at the end of the day, once you send the campaign, which can be scheduled, so it can be a scheduled send or it can be immediate, out the door it goes and gets tracking begins immediately inside the CRM as people are responding to all this. Just on the reporting side, so when all of this is said and done, how am I able to make sense of it? We do give you two ways to report on your information. We have the dashboards that we make available, and we have a whole series of different types of dashboards, but probably the most common one is the campaign summary that allows me to pull from a time frame, a starting time frame, an end time frame, and which campaign I want evaluated, and I can just immediately see the results in real time, click on the actual area where the results are, and then drill down if I wish to the account. But this gives me an immediate overview of the different behaviors that have been taken based on all the different types of clicks that you're able to use in our tool. If you want to get it in an even more detailed fashion, then through our report center, there are numerous reports. The one I think, again, is one of our more favorites is this success tracking and detail report. So this gives you an even greater detailed look and allows you comparisons of campaigns side by side. So for instance, if I wanted to compare a couple of different campaigns here, I'll just throw in these two together. Let's make sure I'll put 3 in here. Let's engage, take off the newsletter. All right, and when we run this report, again, this is pulling from the data in your database in real time. So you're able to get an immediate snapshot. In this case, I'm doing side-by-side comparisons against multiple campaigns. But if I want to get into the nitty-gritty, I can drill down here and actually see the specific pages that were viewed and by whom. I can go down to the web pages visited and actually drill down into the various pages people have gone to see. And I'm always seeing in date, time, stamp order those behaviors so that I could pull that. This can be generated into reports out to your staff. But it's very important that it's very quick to see very detailed information behind the campaigns, but at the same time being able to assess and evaluate which ones are doing a good job with comparisons to them. So we try to cover the analytics in a very thorough way for you through a lot of reports and dashboards as part of that. Tim, are we seeing any questions along the way here? I'm
Yeah,
going to jump.
there's a few questions coming. So if you've got any questions, those of you that are on here live, you should see the questions section on your meeting control panel.
Yeah, feel free
Just
to
one.
post them, and I'm going to, speak to the final piece, which is the special promo that we're offering. So we do have 3 versions of IntelliClick available, and each of them incrementally have a little bit more functionality. Most of what I showed you today, a lot of the core functionality, the one click, the web page views, making sure your data integrity is maintained, the one click call to actions, all that is part of our standard version of the product. You could see some of the different quotas that are included in terms of results and amount of emails that could be sent per month. So they're slightly greater. The premium product is really the one that gives you the fullest, most comprehensive capabilities with all feature sets, no limits to how much tracking, and an initial starting quota of 25,000 emails per month. I will mention that in all cases, the email send quota can be altered and can be increased to whatever level you need. So no matter what version you buy, you can add and reset that quota to a higher level, or if it's just on a certain month you need higher levels, you can have a higher level for a specific month, pay a little bit more for sending more than that quota that month. So there is flexibility on send. Don't feel those are hard cast in stone numbers. This promo we're offering really amounts to a total of about 40% off our product if you buy by the end of July. So midsummer, by the end of July, if you were to purchase this and reach out to Tim and his team, you would be getting a number of things, from a reduction in the price, an actual discount on the price. We're going to tack on 3 extra months. So it's normally a 12-month subscription. It will be a 15-month subscription to start. And we'll do some additional work for you in both your first campaign prep and send. We will work closely with you and your team, not only in terms of training in conjunction with Wizard Systems, but actually making sure that first campaign is properly built and that they get a good understanding on how to use all the tracking possibilities of IntelliClick to get the most out of your campaign. We also will waive any installation and setup fees. There is usually a set one-time fee to get this all set up and integrated within your system. All that is waived as well as part of this promo. So I am now going to move over to our question and answer period and see what people might want to know more about.
Yeah, just to follow up on the pricing, and if you're interested further, we've kind of glossed over the full capabilities of IntelliClick. So if you do want a deeper dive into the solution, and Steve and I are more than happy in arranging a one-to-one session with you, because everyone has got different requirements as regards to the way they go to market and their GoldMine setups and the sort of campaigns they want to run. So we can do more of a tailored demonstration for you. And of course, we can cover things like pricing. And we found, after supplying IntelliClick for many, many years now, that every client is different, and some people may require a little bit of coaching on creating mailing lists, for example. This is leveraging the filtering and grouping features in GoldMine. So maybe you need a little bit of coaching on that, some of the advanced things and some of the advanced queries that we can do. I mean, all the data is in GoldMine, so that we can do snazzy things in the future, like people that responded to campaign A, we're going to send them campaign B, for example. We can do that because the data is in GoldMine. And Steve mentioned a very good point in that all the data is in GoldMine and it's never going to go away. Like a cloud system where you're going to lose it, it's always going to be in there. So down to some questions then, Steve. I think there's 3 questions coming in. Question from Chris: if we move our contacts from MailChimp, how do we migrate the email addresses and make sure unsubscribes are tagged in GoldMine?
Okay, well, a very important part of what we offer, and let me just move back over to the IntelliClick module. In our sender module, we have a data integrity mechanism built in. And that data integrity allows us to take a list that has, let me just make a quick connection here, to take a list from a file that you generate, let's say in this case from MailChimp, and this will then allow us to load that list and update the email addresses that correspond in your database. So this load of hard bounce, load of unsubscribe. So there's really two types of emails you want to be sure are flagged, and these allow the manual flagging. The unsubscribed file would be a file generated from MailChimp of just emails. All we need is just that list in a nice little notepad. We load it, we match them, and we put the flag that would have occurred had you sent a mailing through IntelliClick itself. The hard bounce is where you might receive, let's say you had your list scrubbed in any way. And we do, by the way, do offer scrubbing services, but if you do get your list scrubbed and identify any invalid or spam traps, all the different possible places you can have problems, that file could be immediately loaded and matched and flagged so those emails aren't used in the future. Anything that is loaded in the hard bounces, for instance, can then be removed from your database. So if they're not valid, we flag them. We don't harm them, we don't remove them. We flag them for not to be used through our sender. But if you say, hey, I want to remove them from our system, you can do so. You can have the email deleted, but you can also add a notation to the history in GoldMine of the deletion. So you have a permanent record of the removed email in the history of the account. So that if somebody says, oh, we need to know what it used to be, or we need to put it back for some reason, you have the ability to go back and do so, even though it's been removed. So that is part of this whole data integrity management capability we offer.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Next question from Kay. Is there a limit to the number of emails we can send through IntelliClick?
So no, there really is not, and we have clients who range all over the map in terms of size of mailings. Is the question the limit based on a given campaign, or based on just an overall limit, for the year or the month? I wasn't sure what limit we're asking. I'll speak to the fact that our email quotas, the 10, 15, 25, is a base quota per month that you get included as part of the subscription. It works out to approximately a penny and a half per email for additional volume. So if I want to go from 10 to 15,000, it works out to, again, in US dollars, about a penny to a penny and a half per email to add higher levels.
Yeah, and I
that
would say also remember, with the combination of GoldMine and IntelliClick, you're likely to be more targeted with your email campaign, a little bit more discreet, and you get lower volumes as well. So that we don't actually have many clients that have hit these limits. So yeah, no limit, but these are just guidelines, and it's very, very affordable, very, very low cost if you go over in that particular band. Chris has come back with another question. How does IntelliClick ensure email deliverability and avoid spam filters, which we covered a little bit as we went through, but yeah.
Right. So if I go back here again, a couple of different things that we talked about that we do. First of all, using the platform, the Mailgun platform, which makes sure that your domain has the proper SPF and DKIM records. These are the way that receiving servers validate that the sender is truly a sender from that domain, and it's not spoofed or somebody pretending to be you. So that's one form of way to try and decrease the likelihood of being identified as a spammer. But the other things that we bring into play, as I mentioned, is the ability to use Spam Assassin to verify or check the message, see if there are any issues that could be sort of spammy in nature. And so you're able to, prior to a send, get that report delivered within a few seconds to review it and verify if there's any alterations you might want to consider to the message. So that is another way that we help you in the deliverability side.
Okay, thanks, Chris, for those. Question from John. Is there a free plan available, for example, trial?
Right, so what we do is we do have a 60-day money-back guarantee. Normally, in this case, the only cost would be the setup or installation setup. That would not be the non-refundable part, because there is a fair amount of work in making sure this is properly set up, integrated, and working inside your environment. This is not it's not a cloud platform, so the work has to be done directly in your own environment and system to be sure the tool is set up and working. For our promotion here, we're waiving that cost. So if you get in on this promotion and within 60 days determine this is not a good fit, then we would be willing to arrange for a refund.
Yeah, there is a setup that is required, and GoldMine is installed somewhere. IntelliClick needs to be installed somewhere, so there's a fair bit of work there. And I would stress the importance of having a demonstration. If you're serious about this, John, then and that could be a better use of your time, making sure that we answer all of your questions, and you can see examples running in front of you that are relevant to your business and your use of an email marketing platform. Right, I think that's all the questions we've got there. I think, Steve, I don't think there's any more. Yeah, so we'll wrap things up now. So thank you very much for those of you on here live. I hope that was of interest to you. IntelliClick email marketing for GoldMine. If you want any more information, please contact myself, Tim Wilmot, tim@wizard-systems.com. I'll contact us for another demonstration if you want a more detailed demo or pricing, and we'll catch up with you soon on the next GoldMine event. Thanks very much indeed. Bye-bye.